Welcome back. This is T Rob. Welcome back to the Biz Pulse. Um, Thank you for joining. Hopefully, you're gaining some knowledge and learning some things from these Tuesday and Thursday night podcasts that I'm putting on. So today I've got Julio Carrillo with me. He is going to talk about business finance, crypto trading, which I know is a big thing right now. He's going to educate us on that and how his system is. And I don't want to keep you guys because you hear me talk enough. So I'm going to go ahead and pull him in. Welcome, man.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So just tell us who you are and all about you in a really short time, right?
No worries. Yeah, well, like you said, I'm Julio Carrillo. I've been in business. I took the actual plunge back in 2015. I started businesses. I've sold them. I'm finally, I think, in a place where I'm truly happy. Do crypto trading and finance now. Have my own private wealth fund. Manage it here in Canada. We have clients in Canada, US, Latin America. It's actually starting to grow really fast for us. So just finding a good place where I'm feeling I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
That's great, man. So isn't that a good feeling when you you're where you're at, you're supposed to be, like where you're at currently? That's always a good
Yeah.
feeling because a lot of us chase it like forever.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that I came to the realization after I was doing a talk one time and we were talking about truth. And then I was just, again, I was going on my little spiel with them. And then after I came home and I really started thinking about it, I was like, but am I really practicing what I preach? And honestly, all 2022 is all soul searching, all grinding out the BS and a lot of not caring, to be honest. So, and I think
Yeah.
that's a huge factor when you're doing business or crypto or finance or trying to get to the next stage of your life. The less you care about the exterior stuff, the easier it is for you to grow.
Yeah, I 100% agree because a lot of people you see outside or people steer you from outside,
Hmm, hmm.
you listen to too many people instead of yourself. So I get that for sure. So talk to me about Platinum Plus Capital. I know that's your business, so let's just jump right into that. Tell me what it is, how it works, and all that stuff.
Well, back in 2018, actually, the way this came about was because I was buying into a couple franchises, and I learned very quickly that the banking system, everything that we're taught that we think is works, no,
No,
it's
yeah.
completely opposite. You can go there, and with your degrees, with whatever education you have, however much your application shows, that's all good. They don't care about that.
Hmm.
They don't care how good the business plan is. No, it was very challenging to get financing for that project. But uh, again, this all stemmed from that, which was Platinum Plus Capital. Firstly, is financial education. So when you sign on to Platinum Plus Capital, you have a platform where you get talks. Like, for example, I'll be on there and I'll talk basics about financing, basics about investing, not too much about crypto investing because I think that's a whole nother chapter in itself. That if you're not going to live, breathe, and die by it, then don't even bother because you're going to lose. But it's all about financial education. But along with our financial education, the money that goes into Platinum Plus Capital turns into a hype program, which we use those funds. We trade it for you. At the end of every month, we split profits with you. And it's pretty much earning compound interest for you.
Okay. So are you, I mean, I'm sure you get this. Are you licensed to do this or
Yeah,
is
so
okay.
here in Canada, we registered two different ways. We had to register through our Canadian license, and then we also had to, because I'm spread out through Latin America, we had to go through we registered a company in Panama. Just
Okay.
because, again, Panama is more like the central hub of finance, as much as it sounds tax haven, or it's not. Technically, it's not. But if we're going to talk financial hub, it's Panama.
Yeah. Okay. So explain to people that may not know what compounding wealth is. Can you
Yeah,
explain that?
that's the secret. That's the secret sauce to everything. That's what the banks charge you and what they don't give you. So, well, compound interest is the best way I can explain it. Is you're earning interest not only on your principal, which is your hard cash, we'll call it, but you're also earning interest on your interest. So we'll give you an example. If you have $100 in your savings account, and at the end of every year, you're supposed to get 5%. That's $5, right? On the second year, you're not earning 5% on the $100. You're earning 5% on the 105, and then it just starts compounding that way. And if you there's a couple compound calculators you could easily Google, and you'll see how quickly that adds up. So
Yeah.
it's the fastest, most efficient way to make money. That's how making money works for you. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know people, they, they don't get that or don't understand that.
yeah,
And yeah, you're definitely right. I mean, it's a quick way to, well, it's not
it's not
quick,
quick.
quick sometimes, but typically not.
It's all relative. The way I try to talk to people when I'm explaining it, it's all relative to the math. 1 + 1 is 2, and you're not going to get to a million doing 1 + 1 is 2. It's just going to take a long period of time. So the more money you have, the more cash flow you have into that account. Yeah, it's going to grow faster. It's just math. But if you're not going to get to $1 million with $50 in 10 years, it's not real. It's not possible.
Oh
So
man, come on
yeah, I'm
now.
sorry. I'm sorry.
So, really great website. Do you mind if I pull your website up? Are you
Sure, go
okay with
ahead.
that? Okay, let me grab it here real quick.
We're having some major updates by the first because we pulled this up. I was trying to make it really accessible to my Latin American clients and to my North American clients. But the biggest change that's going to happen is that we developed an app, and it's going to be fully functional. I think I just got off the phone today, and they said by February 1st. So we're going to have Apple Store, Google Play. Everything's going to be easily accessible in the palm of your hands.
Very cool. Very cool. So, if you're just tuning in, I'm with Julio with Platinum Plus Capital, and we're talking about investing and compounding interest, compounding wealth. You can call it both ways, but so this is your website. I did like the compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. I love that. I mean,
It's true.
yeah, it's totally true. And that was said way back when, I mean, a long
Yeah.
time ago. So, so walk me through this. So how it works. Let's go to how it works. So, um,
So again, I try to make this easily accessible. So in Latin America, again, for me, it's all about education.
mhm,
That's the finance, money, compounding interest, all the stuff you don't get taught in school. None of us get taught in school. We just get taught to go work, you can put the money in the bank. But the bank
mhm,
just, I'm not going to say they rob us, but they charge us for everything. They charge us to make deposits,
yep,
to make withdrawals, to send, to wire, whatever. Doesn't matter what transaction you want to do, they get their money first and foremost. And
mhm,
when you finally understand how a bank works, you really understand that they don't even have your money. They're
yeah,
just they just you just give it to them blindly, and it's just a bunch of numbers on a screen. And here in Canada, I'm not sure if you heard, but we had this little episode with the truckers kind of thing that was happening down in Ottawa, the capital.
yep,
So what happened there was, they're arguing over vaccines, blah 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 stuff, to be honest. But the whole thing was, this is how messed up the system is, and we can see it in today's, we'll call it matrix, however they want to call it today, right? But as soon as you piss off the wrong people, they pull your bank card. So meaning that all those truckers, all those protesters, if they got caught or if they were a part of the system, they got their bank accounts frozen. They had no access to their capital. Their GoFundMe pages all torn down.
yeah,
We have a big cell phone provider here called Rogers. It's one of the biggest cell phone providers in the whole country. The system went down, and everything is attached to that. All the merchant systems, all the terminals for
mm,
payments, everything is attached to it. And during that time, if you went to the bank, and this was just over the summer, past 2022, if you went into the bank and you said, you know what, I have no cash, I have no clue how long the system's going to be down, I want 5,000. You didn't get 5,000.
yeah,
They limited you to $800.
wow,
Limited, and the line was out the door. It just, again, so the point I'm trying to make is, when I started Platinum Plus Capital was, the way it works is, again, you have access to our website. As soon as you log in and you register, the $50 USD, everything's in US dollars because that's
Mm-hmm.
how we trade is with US dollars. You have access to our e-library, which we're starting to, February, we're going to start compiling it just because I knew we were going to have major changes this month. And the money just goes to work. The money just gets invested for you automatically. If you don't want to be part of the system, if you don't want to be part of the hype program, that's fine. Money back. There's no issues with us. Normally depends how long you're in, how long your money's in trade for, because we have different positions. It's usually around 7 days to 14 days to get your money back. It also depends on the volume. Some people have $100,000, some people have 1,000, some people have 100. It's relative to the number as well, because wiring $100,000 is a lot more difficult per se than transferring you $1,000.
Right.
It's just a whole nother set of paperwork. That's all.
Yeah, that makes sense. So your range is you said you can start with $50. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The $50 is more for, again, everything is relative to that compounding interest. The $50 is more because in Latin America, $50 in Latin America, that's like $200.
Mm-hmm.
Our money, right? And again, everything's relative. And for me, it's always getting started. A lot of people have this insecurity or fear of, oh, I don't have $1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 100,000. I barely even have $100. It's there's an old Chinese proverb that I post on my Instagram that was, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today.
Yeah.
So, it's either you start or you don't start, and it's so easily accessible that it's really up to you. You either start compounding your money, or go spend it at Starbucks or something that's completely not going to make you any money.
Yeah, and that would be my next question, because I'm sure you get this a lot. Okay, if I give you $50, what am I making? How much am I getting in return? But I mean,
there's no guarantees on that. I have to be very careful on that. But our historical returns in the last 3 years have been on average to our clients between 4 and 6% on average. That's pretty high to give back to our clients. But again, we have a very rigorous system on our trading platforms. All of our traders are registered. All of our traders have very rigorous stop protocols. Everything that we do, we have some AI technology that do some arbitrage trading for us. It's not the only thing we do. I don't believe in keeping all your eggs in one basket when it comes to trading, because that's just the doom for disaster.
yeah, it's almost like flipping a coin, right?
Exactly.
Some days, you never know.
For us, we try to diversify as much as possible. And if anything, the one thing I always try to preach to, when I have a lot of one-on-one presentations that I do to accredited investors, I always tell them the goal is to get you to 100 plus. Never, ever, ever, and I don't care who says it, never keep all your eggs in Platinum Plus Capital. Have your goal, just like trading, have your goal, stop it there, take out half the money, whatever, and go look into some whole life insurance. Go find a local life insurance agent, but get whole life insurance. Why? Because that earns you compound interest. Go buy an Airbnb, go buy a piece of property, go reinvest those funds. Then you have multiple eggs, multiple things. Again, you don't know when the crypto market is going to completely get obliterated. You don't know when the housing market is going to bubble again. You don't know when stocks are going to bust again. No one knows the future on those things, but it's best to have multiple baskets. And if all the baskets fail, then we're all screwed anyway.
That's right. Yeah, we're all living together.
But go ahead.
With this investment, are you guys investing in crypto only?
In North America, it's crypto only. Okay. Outside of North America, we can do Forex as well.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry I interrupted you.
No. All good.
So when did this, tell me how this came to life? I mean, and how long it's been around?
So I opened the platform to the public, we'll call it, back in the summer of 2022. I've been doing my own. I was trading. I don't do the trading anymore. I leave that to more. Again, you have to live, breathe, and die by trading. That's how I call it, in order to be super, super efficient. And I was doing it passively. learning a lot of great lessons, how to just, again, learning a lot of failures. And the only way to get
Been
really,
there, done that.
the only way you get really good is through failing. So that being said, um, I was doing it by myself since 2020, and I saw, my own strategies working. The way it really came to life was I had a friend who messaged me. Vancouver has a really generous or very high housing market, and it's super hard. All the houses over 1 million, pretty much. Um,
Sounds like
but so
California.
yeah, and she was calling me and said, "Hey, do you know anyone? I think she only had 50K at the time, but she needed more money." And I said, "Well, how much do you trust me?" Because there's only one way I knew how to really make money
Yeah.
that was safe, right? You could do private mortgages, but they're just as volatile. There's other ways to make money, but they just take longer. So I said, look, if you trust me, I'll give you a guarantee. I remember I put up some collateral for her. I was like, but let me grow this for a year for you. And just recently, back in this new year, I gave her $103,000.
Oh, nice, man.
But again, I was growing her funds for her, and so that's where it stemmed from. And then when I sat back and I was sitting down about it, I'm like, well, I could do it for her. How many people could I really do it for? How many people really have this need? And that's what, for me, business was. You find a need that a lot of people have, and then if you could find a solution, then you technically have a business because now you have clients, right?
Yeah.
So, and I found it's almost a no-brainer for anybody I really talk to, anybody who understands investing, anybody, and you can be conservative. I don't care. Our ROI calculator is it's in the works right now.
Okay.
But again, it's very simple website. But next month it's going to be fully functional. Everything's going to be our calculator, supposed to be to give you not a projection, but to actually demonstrate what compounding interest looks like. Because again, until you see it, it's really hard to see how the numbers work. It just 100 turns to 105, 105 turns to 110 and 111. Right. It starts adding up over time, and we are able to do this monthly. One of the things that I didn't like about mutual funds or financial advisors is, I got to wait 30 years. Dude, at the rate the world's going right now, I have no clue where we're gonna be in 30 years. So I'd rather take my chances.
Yeah, I agree with you there. You never know. So we talked about it a little bit, and you told me kind of how it started. But I mean, do you have a big team around you now that's
absolutely
helping with this? Okay.
Yeah, so I have about 6 traders that work full time for us, depending on volume, meaning depending on our cash flow that we have, because we're constantly getting new clients every single month. Again, I'm trying to diversify, make sure that not everything is placed. If we just do one trade, we'll call it, that's incredibly high risk. So we just try putting all our eggs in different baskets. I'm not saying we're any geniuses. We do have losses on a regular basis, but we try to mitigate the losses by our wins. And again, if a lot of traders currently, they can make up to 30-40%, but they're in a high risk level.
Yeah.
So when they risk that high, you could lose that much as well. For us, I'm looking at compounding interest, like, okay, 4 to 6%. That's what most mutual funds offer every year. If I could do that monthly, conservatively, I'm winning. Even if I do 1% a month for our clients, that's still winning. So we're just been very fortunate that the crypto market is volatile, which volatility creates a lot of opportunity. So right now, all mutual funds, if you had your money in mutual funds, you probably lost money last year.
Oh yeah.
And again, but that's the risk, right? I'm not saying I'm not safe. I have a risk too. If you understand what risk tolerance is, I'm more of a high risk. And my clients understand that. Everyone who works knows that cryptocurrency is volatile. Can you lose? You can lose in any investment. Go buy a house and you can lose on it. It doesn't matter what investment it is. If it's a true investment, there's a possibility to lose no matter what.
Yeah, I agree. Do your own research, people, and make your own decisions.
Absolutely.
I always tell people, because I've got a crypto background myself, and I always tell people, if you're really struggling to put this money into crypto, you shouldn't be doing it.
Exactly.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
because it's very, very risky. Well, any investment, like you said, there's no guarantee on any investment. So uh, make sure you do your own homework. We're not telling you to do anything. So
No, 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 not at all. I have some friends that say, "Oh no, I'm gonna let it sit. Good luck." I
yeah,
like to pray too, but you have to take action, and that's what the trading for me is. It's just taking more action, taking control of my moment, and
yeah,
not depending on one day crypto going back to the 100,000.
yeah. So what's one thing in this venture that you did that you didn't expect? Is there like one thing that you?
Yeah, I didn't think I'd be doing podcasts. I didn't think I'd be social media. I was. I don't want to call myself an old guy because I know I'm not that old, but I've always wanted to do the talking. I always wanted to kind of put myself out there, and I didn't think this was going to be it.
Yeah,
But I love that. That's why I'm such in a good place because I'm actually doing everything I love. I talk about money. I help people with money. I talk about motivation, mindset, business, finance. I could talk about all these experiences I've had building all these businesses because my previous business has nothing to do with this. This was a pastime that made me some money that I felt I can share with other people.
yeah. So what were
So
you doing before then?
I had a contracting company. We were very
Okay.
niche. We supplied hygienic wall panels. It was more hospital work, and you can imagine in 2020, 2021, we made pretty good money at that time.
Yeah.
We were already working in hospitals, but industry just blew up after that. During 2020, during like the major shutdown, every restaurant, because they were cleared out, did brand new renovations. The places we can never get into because of scheduling, everything was shut down. So we were
Mm,
able to get a ton of work done. I ended up selling that company, selling off all the contracts, and just literally diving again, jumping off a new cliff here. And I've been doing this full time.
good for you, man. That's great. So I always try to touch at stuff. So if someone is really wanting to get in a like a career like what you're doing, what's their path? I mean, how do they learn this? What do you suggest?
I think that being honest with yourself, honestly, I think you have to go a few days, take a weekend alone or with someone with that has experience in business or has some sort of experience jumping off this very crazy cliff, because there's a couple lessons that are automatic. If you don't do well with failure, don't do it. Like, this is being an entrepreneur, having your own business or doing your own thing. You have to understand, you
Oh yeah.
have to go into the mindset, I'm not going to be successful for a minimum 5 years. It's going to be
Yep.
tough. It's a tough journey. All your friends and family who you thought supported you are probably not going to support you. All the people who you're around with will probably call you stupid or think you're crazy for doing something that you've never done before. So understand that all that negativity. So if you can accept failure and you can block out the BS, then that's one. When I say look in the mirror and take some time to talk to yourself, understand what you're good at, understand what your strengths are, understand what your weaknesses are. Don't be ashamed of it. There's only one person that really matters, and that's the person you're looking at in the mirror, literally. If you don't believe in yourself, how can you convince other people to believe in yourself?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one of the hardest things, I think, the journey. And in terms of education, we live in an unparalleled world right now where we can literally Google, YouTube, Instagram, any subject about anything, and you can literally find someone to teach you. If you're good with books, then go get the book. If you're good online, then go online. But there's literally no excuse of why you can't get the education. The education is free, literally.
Yep. Yep. I'm 100%. I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day about that. Like if people can't learn something in today's world, they really have a problem. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
like there's just so much free, uh, incredible material. I mean, you can go on YouTube and find a video for anything,
Anything.
so,
Yeah.
and with AI coming out,
Mhm.
I mean, pretty much you can ask anything
Yeah.
and learn anything. So it's really cool.
Yeah. You can even get your own crypto bots. I don't recommend it. That's a different technique in itself. But again, you can learn that.
Yeah. So speaking of that, what's a good, maybe, productivity hack that you use or you can share with people? Like, oh, maybe it's a software, maybe, something else.
For trading?
For anything, like
Oh,
just for an entrepreneur in general?
I think a good hack. Again, I think it kind of boils down to being honest with yourself, because you got to understand your habits.
Hmm.
Like the hack is still a hack, yes, but you got to understand what your habits are, and you almost got to write down like something that works for me. I'm a very visual person. Like I do generally believe not in manifestation, because manifestation without action is nothing. It's just a fantasy, just some BS that you're wasting your time on. But what I do is I had some professional headshots done and pictures done, and I grabbed the most professional one I found, and I literally cut out little words of affirmations and what I believe myself to be and what I believe I'm going to grow myself to be into. And my morning routine starts off with just looking at that picture, and I repeat it 3 times. It's about 15 words, and I repeat it. And you always start off, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. But by the third time, you really try to put conviction behind it. And honestly, that self doubt, that 5 minutes in the morning routine of meditation, of believing and thinking your day is going to go good, and just kind of trying to control your day. For me, it works wonders. To be honest, I can work all day. I can work an 18-hour day, no complaints. But getting that mindset, it's really
Yeah.
powerful for me.
Yeah, that's great advice, great hack. A lot of people think when I ask hack, they're thinking, "Oh, I don't have a software or anything," but
Yeah.
the mind is probably the biggest hack you have. People don't
Oh,
understand that. You train the
like
mind, man. Everything follows. So,
well, I think of it this way: people try to hack your mind,
oh
like any
yeah,
computer virus. Like I think I was given a talk one time about, if someone were to rob your house, how would you treat them? You would treat them with aggressively.
oh yeah,
If they're, but it's the same thing. Your brain is your house. If someone's going to come in there and try to put stuff in your head that shouldn't be there, you attack the same way.
yeah,
And that's all it is. If you can't, if it starts up there and you can't do it, then you can't do it.
yeah, for sure, man. So, what's one of the biggest challenges you're facing right now in your business? Is there a big challenge that you're facing?
I would say it's more, um, the growth is great, but finding the right team,
Yeah.
that's always challenging, because I'm only as good as the people around me. And once you have, like, I've had a couple businesses already, and in the beginning, I made the fatal mistakes of ego, uh, micromanaging. When I say ego, that was part of me micromanaging. I
Hmm.
had managers, but I was managing my managers. Like,
Right.
why am I paying them for at that point? And that's the same thing now. It's just creating the right protocols, the right systems. You're the leader. I'm the leader. My crew, they all look to me for guidance. They all look to me for the path of which way we're going to take. And that's the hardest thing. Just find the right crew to be around you, because one rotten egg can, one bad apple can really mess things up.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Um, so I always ask this for every guest that comes on. Do you have you have 3 books that you recommend, or you have any books that you recommend?
Uh, a couple. One of the most impactful books I've read the most, was The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. I read that countless times, and I think in order to really understand the book, you need to read it countless times.
Hmm.
Um, Another one was Game Changers, I believe it was. I can't remember the author off the top of my head, but he was talking about biohacking, understanding your body, biohacking, and Rich Dad Poor Dad for the basics,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. It's hard to beat that one.
Yeah.
So what's a big goal for you guys? I mean, you got something coming up this year, or what's a 5-year goal for you? What's big plans for you?
Um, Part of Platinum Plus, we are trying to. I'm working already with a couple of insurance companies. I would like to see in the next 5 years, Platinum Plus be like a one-stop shop for all different types of investing. For example, once you grow your fund to 150K, 200K, you're able to now get into whole life insurance, just an area where you're able to get all your investing done in one area, in one platform.
Hmm.
That just makes it easy to manage, because again, there's so many different types of things you can put into, but real estate, insurance, crypto, index stuff, mutual funds. I would ideally like to have it all, just so I can cover all my bases with all the different type of uh, um, risk tolerances that are out there.
Gotcha. Does that, for something like that, if you add that, does that add a lot of liability onto you?
Uh, I can, but for example, some of the insurance companies, because I wouldn't be the one who has the license for that. That's just a whole nother animal in itself. But when you partner with them and they more or less do your back end and their license, it kind of still falls on them. It's just more revenue generating for us, and it's a service, an a la carte service I'm providing to the clients,
Yeah.
to our clients. That's at least that's how I see it. Is that what I want to do? Yes. How it happens, I'm going to leave that to paying a bunch of overpriced lawyers to figure out. So,
Gotcha. Gotcha. So beyond Platinum Plus Capital, what else do you do? What else is going on in your life?
actually, we just got approved from Equifax and TransUnion. We're going to be able to provide lines of credit for. I'm focusing on two industries. Again, it's all about education. It's all about new immigrants that come to the United States and Canada, because when you're a new immigrant who legally arrived through all the right processes, you are still uh, unknown to credit cards, lines of credit, how to buy a house, how to get a car, how to get a credit card. So our platform is going to be called AmCan Financial. And what that's going to allow you to do is start building your credit history through our company. And it's going to be based on, again, more new immigrants. It's going to be based on for students, for, brand new 18-year-olds, again, who have no clue what a credit score is. And even most adults don't even know what a credit score is or how it works, right? On credit usage, sorry, maxing out your credit cards, on what percentages you need to be. What really matters with credit cards technically is some free info if you don't know already. It's about longevity and making your payments on time. So I'm going to be opening up that platform, but it's also going to be able to work for people who were in debt and can't get a credit card. Our platform is going to allow you to get automatically approved. You choose the payment plan, which I'm going to have on our website soon. You choose the payment plan, you choose the term, stick to that. It works both ways. You make your payments, we report it as a good payment. You don't make your payment,
Yeah.
it's a hard lesson to learn. But nonetheless, another online platform where we can educate on every aspect of what your credit means and how you should use it.
Okay. Wow. Well, you're a busy guy then, man.
Yeah, I try to be. I like being busy. It's fun. It keeps me on my toes. I got my family. I got wife, 3 kids. But again, I just staying active. I got 24 hours in a day, and I was barely using them before.
Yeah. So when did you because you talked about having a business before all this, when
Mhm.
did you know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur? Like what made you go that way?
Honestly, in high school, I always knew I wanted to be a boss. I knew I
Yeah.
wanted to do my own thing. I didn't have the courage to really take the plunge to jump off that cliff until 2015 was when I registered, I think, my first company, and really like on my own, no safety nets, no side job, no hustle, no nothing. It was just make it or break it. Don't know if I'm paying the rent next month, but I'm doing something. Everything else was like, oh, I'm going to dabble in this and I'm going to work my side job on the side. But 2015 was when I really had the courage to do it myself.
Okay. Well, that's great, man. Great for stepping out, because that's a big thing, because I know there's people that go to the grave and say,
Mhm.
"Man, I wish I would have worked for myself."
Yeah.
But I always tell people this, and I'd love for you to kind of tell people as well. Like, what people see with business ownership is like, "Oh, these guys, look, they're driving this nice truck, they got this house," and they don't understand the grind and the push that it takes to do any type of business. So can you speak on that just a little
Oh,
bit?
absolutely. Like I said earlier, it's one of the hard. I believe being an entrepreneur it's brutal. Imagine going to
Yeah.
war, World War II. Okay, you're going in there not knowing whether you're going to live or die. But if you come out of there, you're coming out with battle scars, because there's competitors who want to drown you. There are people who will lie to you and pretend that they're happy for you. A lot of people will project their insecurities on you. I recently started like comparing being an entrepreneur to almost being a dad. simply because you have all these people behind you, these little people, kids, or you have a full grown adults that literally their lives depend on you.
Yeah.
They trust you to pay them. They trust you to guide them. They trust you to do all these things for them to build the business so they can have somewhere to be for the next 10 to 15. It's a lot of pressure just thinking about that. Like you, whether it's five or one or 10 or 100, all these people depend on you. And but for me, it's if you're willing to be a dad and a parent, and if you're willing to do that, if you can do that, then you can almost be an entrepreneur, because there's no appreciation at the end of the day. You know, when ish hits the fan, um,
Yep.
it hits the fan. If you don't pay someone on payday, oh, they're coming after you. All that nice stuff that you did for them before, out the window. It's a grind. It's not just about the fancy car, the house, all that stuff came after years of relentless brutality against you.
Yeah.
And so if you got to that far and you're able to afford those things and do them, good for you. Like, you should be appreciating people like that and admiring. If you're hating on something like that, I think you should really be looking in the mirror and thinking, why are you? You should be happy that someone is providing tax income to your province, state, city, municipality, whatever. You know, they're paying taxes. Don't think they're not. They're paying
Oh,
taxes.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Yep. Yep.
it's not just it's not all sunshine and roses. You know, Instagram. I blame social media for making it look like it's pretty. I blame Instagram and social media for the girls, the Lamborghinis, the
All
boats.
right.
It's all fun, fun. Hell no, it's not fun. It's not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, there's, it's kind of, it kind of becomes an addiction, like
mhm.
the challenge of it is like keeps you up, like you're just fired up for the challenge. I mean, at least that's how I'm wired. I'm
Oh,
sure
absolutely.
you're probably the same way. Like, bring it on, I'm just, let's do this. And you have to be, I mean, because you won't survive. And there's a lot of people that try business and they go, that's the hardest thing I ever did. And they go back and work for people, which, hey, that's fine too.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. If you don't have a vision, this is one of the most recent posts I put. You know, the blind can't lead the blind. You have to follow someone with the vision.
mhm,
Follow someone with the vision. If the person you're working for, this is one of the things. If you are the CEO, if it is your business and you don't have a vision, no one's going to see it. If you're
yeah,
an employee and you're working for someone, a manager, or if it's a small business, if you have access to the owner directly, and they don't have a vision, yeah, it's just doomed to fail.
yeah,
In my opinion, it's just doomed to fail. It's nothing that's going to keep you around for the next 15 years. You got to follow someone with the big vision, who constantly grinding, constantly rotating, constantly adjusting and pivoting to the world circumstances. The COVID-19 showed the real players, showed the people who were going to succeed and the people who weren't going to succeed.
yeah,
Anybody who did, they pivoted. Restaurants, all the old restaurants that didn't pivot to DoorDash, Uber Eats, to all this online deliveries. I saw it here in Vancouver a lot. They're just, oh, well, we don't want to do that. We need people to come in. Pivot,
yeah,
dude, pivot. You're too
yeah.
comfortable. And those were the guys who went under.
Yep. Yeah, it's a lot of that here as well. So we're wrapping up a little bit. So what's one
Mhm.
question you wish I would have asked you? Anything?
Oh God, that's a.
That's
I wish
always
you
one
wouldn't
that
have. I wish you wouldn't have had asked me that one.
and you don't have to have, if there's none, that's fine. I mean, I'm
Yeah, no.
just throwing it out there.
I would think that no, you covered a lot of them, because I think everything just based off of mindset, and whoever's listening, for your audience, I think that's your key to life, because if you're in here and then you're walking mundanely and you're afraid of failure, you're never going to grow. I don't care. This has nothing to do with trading or being an entrepreneur or a business owner. It's just as a person, you gotta fail in order to get to that next step.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of it. Accept it. Enjoy it. You know, accept failure. Make a freaking song out of it. I don't care. But it's all about energy redirection. Take that negativity, take those bad thoughts, and really just use it as power and use it as strength. Because people are more resilient than they really care to believe.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. When you're pushed up against a wall,
Yeah,
you find out who you are. So
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Well, Julio, it's been a great conversation. I don't want to keep you. I know it's late and time for you to get back to those kiddos, but I wanted to thank you for your time. And everyone, go to platinumpluscapital.com. Look at that. Where can people find you at? What's the best place to connect with you?
Uh, Instagram, it'll be at the real Julio Carrillo. Uh, I believe my name's on the screen, but at the real Julio Carrillo, I'm pushing a lot of content just for motivation, for mindset. Um, Again, next month is going to be a big month. Just been again, it's all about pushing content and let people be aware. I don't think there's enough investing. What do you call it? Investing content that makes it look fun or makes it
Yeah,
look like, dude, I'm buying these things because I put my money to work. I didn't just, I'm not just here just having fun and showing a fake Instagram because someone paid for it. No, this is all me.
right.
So
Right. Well, thank you for all you do, man. Thanks for that positive mindset. We need more people like you that have that and push hard to just do great things in life. And really appreciate it. Great to meet you, man.
same here.
Yeah, and I will have you on here again. And if you need anything from me, you know how to get me.
Awesome. Thanks, Robert. Really appreciate your time.
No problem, man. Have a great night.
Okay, bye.
Oh, all right. That was Julio. Um, and he was talking to us about business finance and crypto trading. And his business is platinumpluscapital.com. So make sure you go check him out. Obviously, a very intelligent guy, mindset, positive mindset driven, which is something we talk about a lot on this show. But I wanted to tell you all, please share the channel. Please give it, a push in your social media. I want to start growing it and getting all this great info out to more people. And I also, if you have someone that you would love to see on here for me to interview, feel free to reach out. I'm on everywhere, but you can reach, Twitter is one of the bigger places for me, T Rob Assets there. But thank you guys. Thanks again for tuning in. And we will catch you next week, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. Talk soon.